presented by Myth and Greet. Leave a like and subscribe.
The story of Hades and Persephone is one of the most captivating in Greek mythology, a tale blending love, mystery, and transformation. At its core are Hades, the god of the underworld, often feared and misunderstood, and Persephone, the young goddess of spring, whose innocence becomes the turning point for her destiny and the balance of the worlds. Hades, brother of Zeus and Poseidon, was destined to rule the underworld after the division of the cosmos. While Zeus reigned over the skies and Poseidon over the seas, Hades was relegated to the domain of the dead, a dark and melancholic realm shunned by the other gods. Despite his position of power, Hades lived in isolation, managing the souls of the dead and ruling with fairness but without joy. Over the centuries, Hades grew cold and resigned to his solitude. He watched his brothers thrive in vibrant palaces, surrounded by celebrations and adventures, while he remained in the shadows. The emotional emptiness slowly consumed him until something unexpected awakened his interest: the young, beautiful Persephone. Persephone was the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and fertility. She grew up surrounded by nature, embodying renewal and the flourishing of life. From an early age, her mother fiercely protected her, fearing that something or someone might rob Persephone of her innocence and joy. Persephone was kind, curious, and full of life, yet she yearned for something beyond the monotony of her sheltered existence. Her world was vast and colorful, but a longing stirred within her for something she couldn't define. Perhaps it was freedom, perhaps a greater purpose, or perhaps it was simply the innate curiosity of a young woman who had yet to experience the world beyond the sunlit fields of her youth. One day, while Persephone was gathering flowers in an isolated field, Hades saw her for the first time. It's said he was observing the mortal world through an opening between realms when her sight ignited something within him that he thought had been lost forever. Her purity and energy contrasted deeply with the darkness and melancholy of the underworld. For the first time in ages, Hades felt something more than indifference or resignation. Unsure how to handle these feelings, Hades made an impulsive decision. He emerged from the underworld in his black chariot and in a swift move abducted Persephone, taking her to his realm. The once blooming field where Persephone had been standing became barren, and her cry echoed across the earth, but no one could stop him. At first, Persephone was terrified. The underworld was cold, dark, and desolate, a stark contrast to the sunlit fields she had known. Hades, though powerful, was distant and difficult to understand. He did not treat her cruelly, but his presence was intimidating. Yet there was a hidden gentleness in his actions, something that intrigued Persephone even in her fear. Over time, Persephone began to explore the underworld. She discovered that this realm, though somber, was not merely a place of death. It was also a place of rest, renewal, and balance. The souls that arrived found fair judgment and, in many cases, a form of peace. Watching Hades in his role as ruler, she began to see him differently. He was not just her captor. He was a god burdened by the weight of a lonely and thankless kingdom. For his part, Hades started to open his heart. He showed Persephone the secrets of the underworld and, for the first time, shared his feelings. He revealed how solitude had consumed him and how her presence had brought light to a place he once believed condemned to eternal darkness. Meanwhile, in the mortal world, Demeter was devastated. She searched for Persephone tirelessly, wandering across mountains and valleys, calling her daughter's name. Refusing to rest, Demeter's sorrow began to manifest in the natural world. The once fertile earth turned barren, crops withered, and rivers dried up. A chilling famine spread across the land, leaving mortals to suffer under an endless winter that reflected Demeter's grief. The balance of life was unraveling, and her anguish grew more profound with each passing day. The gods of Olympus became increasingly concerned as the mortal world fell into ruin. They pressured Zeus, ruler of the gods, to intervene. Knowing the delicate situation, Zeus was conflicted. He understood the consequences of Hades' actions, but Hades was also his brother and an essential ruler of the cosmos. Ultimately, Zeus recognized the necessity of resolving the conflict before the mortal world faced irreversible destruction. he sent Hermes, the swift and clever messenger god, to the underworld to negotiate Persephone's return. When Hermes arrived in the shadowy realm, he found that Persephone had changed profoundly. The innocent and carefree maiden he once knew was gone, replaced by a woman who had grown in strength and wisdom during her time in the underworld. Persephone was no longer merely a daughter or a victim. She had discovered purpose and a quiet power within herself. Though she missed her mother and the life she had known, she had also found something unexpected, a connection to Hades and a role as a queen of this enigmatic realm. Before Persephone could leave, Hades offered her a parting gift, pomegranate seeds. Unbeknownst to Persephone, consuming the seeds would forever bind her to the underworld. She ate a few, savoring their bittersweet taste, unaware of their significance. When the time came for Zeus and the other gods to decide her fate, this simple act complicated matters. A compromise was reached to satisfy all parties. Persephone would divide her time between the two worlds. She would spend half the year with her mother in the mortal realm, bringing with her the joy of spring and summer, and the other half with Hades in the underworld, ushering in autumn and winter. This arrangement created a new balance between the worlds. Persephone became more than a goddess of spring. She embodied the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Her dual role symbolized vitality and growth during her time above and introspection and renewal during her stay below. Her presence in the underworld brought light and transformation, turning it from a mere place of shadows into a domain of balance and quiet beauty. Hades, too, was irrevocably changed. Once resigned to solitude, he learned to love and share his once dark realm. Persephone's warmth and radiance illuminated the underworld, softening its harshness and bringing a new sense of purpose to its ruler. Together, they represented the unity of opposites, proving that even in the darkest places, light could flourish and love could endure. The legacy of Hades and Persephone is, above all, a tale of transformation. It is a teaching of how light can reach even the darkest places, and how even gods, with all their power, can become more complete by confronting their own emotions. Persephone, once seen solely as the goddess of spring, became a symbol of duality and strength, while Hades, the dark king, revealed that even the coldest hearts can find warmth. Together, they forged a new harmony, proving that even in the darkest myths, there is room for love, renewal, and balance. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. If there's anything you'd like to discuss or suggest, please leave it in the comments section. Thank you very much. Until next time.